So here's something that's probably very familiar to anybody who's involved in the field of education. But if you are a student, or you're not really involved in education, you may not know this. Generally, when we learn something, right, we want to be assessed for it. Assessment actually, sometimes when we think about assessment as a student, growing up, you probably think of exam, and can be quite pressurizing and scary. But to be honest, actually assessment can be really really fun stuff. And the study of assessment, the type of assessment, the users of assessment can be really broad, and all encompassing. So what I mean is that generally there are two main categories of assessment whenever we plan a lesson, or a series of lessons, a course. There are this thing called the formative assessment and summative assessment. So when people talk about assessment, sometimes the one that comes straight to their mind is actually the summative assessment, where it provides a summary of the things that we have learned so far, and that's like the examination that you have when you are a student. So sometimes quite scary because it's going to determine your next course of study, your next course of action, what you're going to do. Or it could actually announce, that hey, you spend a lot of time and effort, and yet your result is not so good. It's disappointing. So sometimes people go in anticipating bad news, and that's why we are afraid of assessment. But conversely, if you go in there and you think about the assessment, you're very confident that you're going to do well. Assessment can be quite exciting because it's actually for a reward as well. To see a very high marks, you get bragging rights. You like it, right? So it really depends on how well prepared we are. Of course, the other thing is there's this formative assessment, which is less about informing how well we have learned so far, how much we have learned so far, but rather, let me say that again, how we actually it doesn't inform us what is the next course of action, in terms of the next type of studies, next level of studies, but more of currently the things that I'm studying now. Is there anything that I need to change? Any gaps that I need to fill up? Any gaps in knowledge that I left out in my revision? So it will be a lot of formative assessment actually took place without us even knowing. Even when you have a teacher asking you a question, when you answer the question, the teacher actually take a mental note, to whether you are able to answer or not. It is a form of assessment as well, but it's formative. That's a more low level one, that takes place all the time. Low level doesn't mean not important, it just means that it's not obvious. Then there's of course your homework assignment, practice questions. Those definitely tells us where we are right now, what are the gaps that we have in our learning. Even if you're paying attention, sometimes there's something you miss out, something you don't quite get, and you practice, you realize, this is something that I need to do. And then of course you have your quizzes, and those small bite-sized quizzes, and what teenagers like nowadays, Kahoot and stuff like that. So these are actually formative assessments. So just something for your awareness and your knowledge, as you progress on this path of trying to learn and become a better learner, right? So yeah, all the best for those of you who has examinations and tests coming out, and formal summative assessment coming out. Okay, prepare well, do your best. All right, have a nice day.